Conflict, drama, chaos, it's all bad for our mental health. We do not need it. It's unnecessary. If I know that something is not right for me or good for me, it's not feeling good, the vibes are off, the intentions are off, whatever, it's not looking good, I can remove myself. And you setting boundaries doesn't make you mean, it doesn't make you evil, it doesn't make you someone who's rigid. I think we've all been in a toxic work environment, right? And that could look different for everybody on a scale from like 1 to 10, right? Like it could be a little less toxic or it could be really toxic where like people are actually saying inappropriate things to you. That's not a vibe. That's an ugly ass aura. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Just Be Real podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Tong. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Wednesday if you're listening to this on a Wednesday. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope that you're having a good wrapping up of April, the last few weeks of April, and that you're preparing for May flowers. I'm really praying that May brings some good blessings, some flowers, literally and figuratively. Like, give me all the flowers, give me all the blessings. So, yeah, y'all, today I want to dive into the conversation of opting out of chaos and drama. So, we are living in crazy times, as we know, especially if you live in the United States of America. And things are very chaotic right now, as far as the government, as far as the job market crisis, as far as just everything, global warming. Like it's a mess. It's literally a circus. And I think it's very easy for us to get lost in the sauce and to end up feeling like we are part of this chaos, right? Like we have no control over what's happening. Maybe there's chaos, drama, uncertainty, stress in your own life, in your own personal life. And then it's like, okay, we're adding now the outside collective chaos and drama. It's like, how am I supposed to live? Like, how am I supposed to function? So today I just want to give some tips on how we can opt out of the collective chaos and the drama and how we can feel centered, regulated, and just ready and hopeful to create a new life. I think that in order for us to opt out of the chaos and the drama, we first have to have a vision of our own lives, right? You have to understand that you are just a piece of chess or checkers or whatever in this game called life, right? We are literally just playing in this simulation, right? And everyone has a role, everyone has a specific set of challenges that they're going to face in their life, but also you have your dreams, you have your goals, you have things that you want to accomplish, a life that you want to live, a relationship, a partnership, a family that you're trying to build, right? So amongst all the other things that are going on in the world, like how can we really focus in on what we are trying to individually create, right? And I know that's hard. I know it's hard. It's like every time you turn on the news, it's something. Every time you open up Threads or Twitter, it's something. Mind you, I deleted Twitter off my phone, or X, whatever you want to call it. I deleted it months ago because I was just like, this is not the same Twitter that a girl once knew. Like it's not the same vibes. Like Black Twitter back in the day, just chef's kiss. Like Black Twitter was a vibe. And I don't know what happened. I really don't. So that was something that I unsubscribed to. So we'll just start with this. We'll start with ways that we can literally unsubscribe and how we can literally get certain things out of our energetic field. So if that is deleting apps off your phone, if that is unfollowing certain people who are always talking in a negative way or bringing up something that's triggering you, let me just tell y'all right now, social media is not a requirement. It is not a requirement unless you are someone who has a business or you're an entrepreneur or a content creator, or anything, a coach, right? Yes, okay, social media is going to be somewhat of a requirement, but outside of that, we don't need to be using it for the news or to get involved in debates and things like that. If you feel like you're getting triggered every time you go on social media, every time you scroll, every time you watch certain people's stories, that just means that either you're following the wrong people, your feed is not curated the way that you need it to be curated so that you feel good every time you open up these apps, right? or you just need to disconnect. You need to disconnect either from certain people or from the app itself completely. So again, going back to me, I got rid of X, right? I don't really go on social media unless I have a purpose, right? So my purpose would be I'm going on to post a certain thing to promote a certain thing. And I'm very open and honest about that. I use social media with intention. I use it for a specific reason. I use it to network. I use it to increase views on my business. I use it to get inspiration from other creators as well. I think we need that as creatives and artists if you are one. But other than that, I'm not going on social media to find out what Trump was talking about the other day. I'm not going on social media to find out how many people got deported today. Like, there's just certain things that I know for the sake of my mental health, I don't need to be subscribing to. I don't need to be engaged with. I don't need to be constantly updated on. And for some people, this might sound like, oh, you're so aloof, like you're so out of touch, like this is what's wrong with this generation, right? Like you guys don't even watch the news, you have no idea what's happening. I know what's happening. I know enough of what's happening, but I also know that as humans, we do not need to know every single thing that's happening in the world. There are so many bad things happening in the world. There are so many bad people. There are so many bad policies. There are so many selfish, greedy people who are just out here literally trying to make other people's life hell, not giving a shit about how people are living, if people are eating, if people are able to provide, if people are able to get a job, if people are able to have housing. There's real life people out here who do not care. And unfortunately, a lot of those people are politicians. And you can already see it's getting me upset, like, talking about it. So this is why I cannot be plugged in every single day, because it's just gonna raise my blood pressure. Then I'm gonna get upset. Then I'm gonna get distracted, right? Then I'm not doing the work that I need to do, right? So if I'm going on Instagram with an intention to post this reel and get the word out about whatever, my class, my retreat, and then I end up getting distracted by something that Trump said yesterday, like, I literally just lost everything that I was working on, right? I lost my vision, I lost my focus. And that's the problem. I think that's a big problem, and that's what we're seeing and that's what we're feeling, right? And I don't want to discredit anybody's feelings. I think it's really important to feel your feels, to feel your emotions, to understand what's happening in your body and your mind, right? And to sit with yourself, but then also to take the action steps to make those changes, right? So if I know, okay, every time I go on TikTok, I end up getting sucked into this rabbit hole talking about this particular topic that upsets me, right? Or I end up scrolling and seeing people talk about things that are shifting my view on dating, right? Like, for some reason on TikTok, like, that's all I see, just like a bunch of videos about dating, mostly negative, some positive, a lot of women taking on that role of like dating coaches and things like that. And I also post things on TikTok about situations or dating or knowing your worth, things like that. I also don't say that I am a relationship coach or a life coach. I'm definitely not, okay? But if that is triggering you, or it's bothering you, or it's having you feel irritated, or you're just like, oh, this is so annoying, like, close the app. Close the app. Why are you on the app? It's so easy to just unsubscribe. It's so easy to just not. Okay. Another way that we can opt out of chaos and drama, we might have someone in our circle who is constantly either bringing up things that are triggering you, or bringing up things that are putting you in a negative space, or maybe they are venting, or maybe they're dumping, right? They're trauma dumping, or they're just dumping about their life, or they're just dumping about everything that's going on in the world, and you're just not in a place to take that in, or to help them, or to give any type of feedback, because you literally don't have much to say. So if that's the case, we have to understand how to put boundaries in place. And I love talking about boundaries. I think I've had at least 2 episodes talking about boundaries, so you guys can go back and search for those episodes. But very, very important to be able to put those boundaries into place. And you setting boundaries doesn't make you mean. It doesn't make you evil. It doesn't make you someone who's rigid. It doesn't make you someone who's trying to purposely hurt anybody, hurt their feelings, right? It's more about you and your feelings. It's more about how you feel. It's more about your mental health. It's more about your energy, your space, right? And if we feel like every time we are around a certain person, that person is draining us, that person is making us feel worse than how we showed up when we interacted with them, like those are all clear, visible signs that we just need to be setting better boundaries with that person. And that could look like seeing them less, right? Not texting them back as often, or disengaging or pivoting the conversation, right? Redirecting the conversation. So if this is someone that keeps bringing up a particular instance, let's use the example of someone is in a toxic relationship and they aren't really taking action steps to get out of this relationship or to improve the relationship, right? They're not considering therapy. They're not making any changes. They're also not setting boundaries in their relationship. And they kind of just want someone to vent about it. And you have become that person for them. So at some point, you have to make the decision, am I going to keep entertaining this conversation and this person, knowing that they're not actively trying to make any changes in their life or trying to improve the situation, but instead they just want to come to me and be able to vent. And sometimes, okay, if you're a person that can detach and you're someone that can just listen and be that ear, right? Be that comforting shoulder for someone without giving an opinion or without internalizing it, right? Then cool. I know that I'm not that person. I know that when my friends come to me about a certain situation, or when I'm hearing the same thing over and over and over again, it's only a matter of time that I'm going to opt out, right? If I'm giving you advice or I am, just saying, maybe I'm not even giving you advice because I try not to do that anymore. I feel like it's kind of useless. Everybody can go to therapy or find a podcast or journal. Like, I feel like there's a lot of different ways for people to deal with certain issues that doesn't involve having a friend give unsolicited advice sometimes, unless they're asking you for it, right? Unless they're asking you for it and unless they genuinely want that advice and are looking to possibly apply it to their life, which is not a requirement as well. Like, people do not have to apply your advice. Okay. But if you are that person that can just listen and be neutral and that's okay for you and it's not affecting you in any type of way, emotionally, mentally, whatever, then cool. Be that person for them. Be that person. But at some point you have to also realize that you might be enabling them. You might be enabling them by continuing to just have them talk about the same shit, like you might not be that friend that's going to keep it real, but you might need to be that friend at some point. Like, you might need to be like, girl, how many times, so you just have to figure out, like, is this worth it? Do I want to keep doing the same ish, right? And then figure out what those boundaries look like for you. Again, it could be just texting back less. It could be taking a longer period of time to text back. It could be simply saying, I'm sorry, like, I can't offer you any advice in this situation and I don't feel comfortable with you talking to me about it anymore. And that could just be that. And that person either is going to be offended, right? Or they're going to respect what you said and respect those boundaries and just stop. And then maybe they'll become more clear-minded or clear-headed to then make that decision, like, oh, damn, like, actually, let me self-reflect. Like, yeah, I am dumping every time I see my friend. Like, that's crazy because we're supposed to be spending quality time, but every time I show up, I have a story about this guy or whatever the case, So maybe it will take you standing up for yourself and saying something in order for that person to reflect and to stop coming to you with those dramatic stories. Another way that drama and chaos might show up in your life is through work environments. I think we've all been in a toxic work environment, right? And that could look different for everybody on a scale from like 1 to 10, right? Like, it could be a little less toxic or it could be really toxic where like people are actually saying inappropriate things to you. I think less toxic would be maybe there's just like gossip in the office or wherever you're working, and maybe it's just not an environment where you feel comfortable like opening up to people or having real genuine connections with people, right? So there's different levels of toxic job environments or whatever. Or you might just have one toxic person in your workplace. That could be your boss, that could be your manager, that could be your supervisor, that could be one coworker, right? And I think that's very common. Like it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So again, having that awareness once you're able to observe, I love to take myself out of situations and kind of, step back and look at everything from like a outside perspective, like I'm watching like a movie or something, right? And kind of just evaluate like what is actually happening. Like who is this person? How are they operating? Like who are they interacting with? What are these people about? Like I just love to observe people and then I make a decision like, do I want to interact with them? Like, how much do I want to actually share? Do I want to hang out with this person? So I think having that discernment is key. If you are in a work environment, maybe you're new or maybe you have been there for a while, but you're just getting bad vibes from people. And that's normal, right? It's normal. I want you to trust yourself. That's the thing. It's like we need to trust ourselves a little bit more often. If you get a bad vibe from the jump, honey, it is most likely because that person is bad vibes. Something's off with them. A number one red flag, if you meet someone and they start talking to you about someone else who's either supposedly their friend or you see them being buddy buddy with this person, laughing it up, but they're coming to you and they're talking to you about this person saying bad things, negative things, that is a red freaking flag. Automatically, I'm thinking, okay, cool. So you're talking about me too. Okay, cool. So you talking shit. Okay. So boom, once you have that knowledge, right, then you can act accordingly. Okay, I know this person is a little gossip girl. I'm not going to tell her shit, right? I'm not going to open up to her. Or I see that this person is the ops, right? They're looking at what everybody else is doing. They're going back reporting either to the supervisor, the manager, whatever, right? We all know that one snitch, right? That one snitch in the workplace that is going to go back and report something. So, again, discernment, right? And you might be in an environment where maybe your coworkers are trying to be friends with you. Maybe you've gotten invited out to certain places, outings, team bonding, whatevers. And you might not feel like you want to show up. That's okay. You do not have to be friends with your coworkers. Like, that's not mandatory. It's definitely not. And I think the world has it so messed up where it's like, oh, we're such a family like that. This is like a family culture. Like, everyone here is friends. Everyone goes out and gets drinks after work, and everyone is so close together. That is not a requirement. And I actually think it's better when you have healthy boundaries with your coworkers because you're already with these people so and so amount of hours during the day, during the week. Like you're spending a lot of time with these people. So when you do, and I'm not saying not to be friends with your coworkers. I've made some of the best, my best friend, I met her through work. So I'm not saying not to make friends with your coworkers, but I'm also saying if you don't want to, that's cool. Like you don't have to show up and be buddy buddy with everybody. It's not a requirement and you shouldn't feel bad about that. Like it's okay to decline invitations, offers, whatever the case, right? And if people are treating you different at work because you didn't want to hang out with them, like that's on them. That's a personal problem. That has nothing to do with you. So protect your peace, girl. Protect your energy, right? And the last thing that I want to talk about as far as opting out of drama and chaos is maybe being in community, right? Maybe you have entered a community where you start picking up on certain vibes from certain people. This could be a dance community. I'm just saying that because obviously I have a dance community, right? So this could be a dance community. It could be a fitness community. It could be a reading club. It could be some type of sports club, whatever, a mommy club. So there's different types of communities, obviously, but I feel like it's so easy for drama to start to seep into these spaces and these communities by just one person. All it takes is one person. And I have experienced this, right? Like 2024, baby. Baby, let's talk about infiltration of drama in a community. Like, it's something that you really have to take a second and just understand what's happening, right? So when things started happening in my community last year and I started seeing like certain girls, acting a certain way and saying certain things and whatever, I really had to like take a second look, like what is happening right now? Like, we're in this community because we like to dance. We have a common passion and love for something, but for some reason we're allowing drama and conflict to seep into this community. Like, it doesn't make sense. The math ain't mathing, right? So no matter what type of community that you're in, if you start to see that, the best thing that you could do is separate yourself, right? It doesn't have to be you going from person to person. Oh, this person said this. Oh, I just heard this girl say this about you. Oh, I'm not effing with this girl no more. It doesn't have to be all that. You can literally just choose to back up and be silent. Sometimes just opting out and choosing to walk away with grace, right? And choosing peace is the best thing that you can do for yourself. And it has nothing to do again with them. It's a you thing, right? Like, I am choosing to opt out of this. I am choosing to disengage. I'm choosing to dip out, right? And once you have that empowerment, then you were able to navigate through life with the confidence and the power, knowing that if I know that something is not right for me or good for me, it's not feeling good, the vibes are off, the intentions are off, whatever, it's not looking good, I can remove myself, and that's okay, right? That's really what this conversation is about. It's about empowering you to make the decisions that you need to make in order to create a peaceful space and environment for yourself, right? Conflict, drama, chaos, it's all bad for our mental health. We do not need it. It's unnecessary. And is chaos and drama always going to be around? Yes. Yes, we live in a crazy ass world. Like, we are humans, and there's a lot of humans not doing the work, unfortunately, not doing the work on themselves, not listening to those nudges that are telling them to stop, or to stop talking, or to stop talking about that person, or to stop hanging around this person, or to just get quiet, right? There's a lot of people just completely out of tune with reality, with their body, with their minds, right? There's people walking around just like mummies and out here. Those are the ones causing the most drama. Those are the people that are causing the most chaos in other people's lives. Okay. And those people, just know, if there's someone that you meet that is causing so much chaos and drama in other people's lives, it's because their life is deeply chaotic and they thrive off of that. They love chaos. There's people who love chaos, right? Going back to like the friend that's always in the toxic relationship, why do you think that they keep attracting those toxic relationships or those toxic people? It's because they themselves are toxic. It's because they like that. They like the thrill, they like the drama, they like to be able to complain about something. They like the attention that it gives them to have a story, to have something to talk about, right? They feel like it gives them substance, it gives them color, right? It gives them a oomph. But girl, like, that is not the energy that we want. Like, that is not the light that you want shining around you. Like, that's not a vibe. That's an ugly ass aura. Okay. So if you are someone that's watching this and maybe you are attracting the drama and the toxicity, and I'm not judging because I've been there. I've been through my series of attracting toxic relationships, and I'm not going to say all. Like, there was one in particular that it was really hard for me to detach and to just cut it off because it was so toxic. And I think when you're in those situations, you often can't see that it's toxic, or you can. Some people have the self-awareness. Like, I'm very self-aware, so I knew what I was doing. I knew that it wasn't right for me. I knew that it wasn't good for my mental health or for anything or for anyone. But there was something about the thrill. There was something about like the arguments, and it's like, oh my God, it's so passionate. And then you go back and someone's apologizing, and then, it's too much. It's way too much. So when you are finally ready to give up the toxic behaviors and the people and the drama and opt out of the chaos, you will understand that your peace is priceless. That your peace is so much more important than any drama, anything that anyone is bringing to your life that doesn't feel good. Your peace is always going to be priority. So I just want to encourage y'all today to sit down and really look at your life, look at your relationships, look at the way that you show up, look at your own behaviors. If you are constantly doing things that are attracting chaos, that are attracting these negative conversations, people tend to come to you and complain and to vent. And sometimes you just have a light. Sometimes you just have a light, sometimes you just have that motherly energy or that friend energy where people want to come to you and vent. Like, I am fully that person. Like, people always end up coming to me and just like talking to me about things going on in their life. And while I do respect that, and while I do feel like, okay, cool, like that means I have a good energy or presence about me, at the same time, like, no, girl, like you, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. I'm not. And I know that I put out a lot of like personal development videos, and my blogs are about personal development and growing and evolving and glowing up. And yes, like that is what I can offer. I can offer advice through my experiences. I can offer advice through things that I've seen, things that I've been through, things that I see other people going through, my friends, right? But mostly life experiences. But that does not qualify me to be able to be that person to give everybody advice. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't see myself being one, right? And most of the time, like, people will ask you for advice, but they don't really want your advice. They will ask you and then they will discard it. So I'm just way past that point of like wasting my energy, wasting my breath, wasting my time. Time is money, honey. Okay. We do not have time to be out here wasting. Okay. So again, sit down, evaluate your life, your friendships, what's bringing me joy, what's not bringing me joy, what's stressing me out, who's stressing me out, what situations are stressing me out, who at work is getting on my nerves, who's taking up my time, right? Even like phone conversations, like people calling you, you don't have to pick up the phone all the time. If you know when you're getting that call, and you know when it's about to be a long ass conversation about nothing or about something that you don't want to talk about, right? And if you know it's that, like, you don't have to answer. I'm sorry. And that might sound really mean, quote unquote, or selfish, quote unquote, but like, your time is your time. It's your life. It's your energy. And we don't want to end up resenting other people or being mad at ourselves because we allowed someone to suck up our time and our energy. And that's time that could have went into something else, right? Like, I found myself a little upset the other day because I allowed someone to like have a conversation with me in the middle of me trying to get work done. And then I had to go and do something else. And I was like, I didn't even get shit done because I was sitting here talking to this person. So protect your time, protect your energy, protect your peace. Okay. Opt out of the drama, opt out of the chaos. We don't always need to have a comment, feedback, a response, right? Like, I'm trying to get better at that because there's definitely people who be on my like YouTube comments and I love clapping back. That's just me. I'm just a spicy Scorpio. And I don't know if that's going to stop. It depends on the day. It depends on the day. Okay. Okay. Sometimes I just dislike the comment. But if it's a day where I want to clap back, I'm going to clap back. Okay. So, anyway, y'all, this is going to wrap up today's episode. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you guys are not already subscribed to my Substack, make sure you definitely go subscribe because I'm going to be putting out some really good content this month, this spring, this summer. I mean, yeah, I'm just stepping it up on Substack. This is a season of me really tapping into my creativity and my full potential. Like, that is my goal, to really live up to my full creative potential. So I'm going to be spending some more time on Substack. So if you guys like to read, I might also be posting some videos over there, some live videos. So make sure you guys are subscribed to my Substack. It's free, but you can also do a paid subscription if you want to support my work, my time, and my energy. And also YouTube. I'm going to be spending more time on YouTube, pumping out more videos for y'all. So make sure you're subscribed. If you are on Instagram, you can follow me at WristFitKitty, and our Let's Just Be Real Pod Instagram page. Okay. And yeah, y'all, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you go check out our upcoming retreats for this year. I would love to see you if you are someone who is just dealing with so much shit right now, like so much uncertainty. You're not sure when you gonna get a job. You're not sure when your man's gonna propose. You're not sure where your next meal is coming from. Like, I want you to remember to just take some time for yourself, whatever that looks like. And it might not be a retreat, that might be out of your budget right now, or whatever. But if you can swing it and that's something that you really think you should do, right? There's some things that just call us in life. So if you feel like a retreat is calling you and you feel like, damn, like I really need some time for myself. Maybe you've been saying that for a long time. I really need some time for myself. I really just need days off. I really just need to get away. Look into one of my retreats. Okay. And yeah, y'all, I will see you in another episode. Thank you so much again for listening, for watching. Share this episode with a friend, and I will see you guys soon. Take care, y'all. Bye.